Okay, so and then here we have the prime site that the street market was on, and the space that they're fighting for. There you have the church. There supposedly was some sort of confrontation with the church initially, but according to the craft market, that issue has been resolved. So, they're now currently just fighting with the council. But I don't know whether the issue with the church has been resolved or not. I'm not too sure. I mean, the church's boundaries clearly end here. So what the church has to say about this matter, I think, is relatively irrelevant. The market is not here on a Sunday, and I think churches only work on Sundays, if I remember correctly. I think from my point of view, I've got three possible solutions to this issue. Okay, and one is going to be, or at least it'll go from the crazy to the actual quite reasonable. But we live in a crazy world, so I'm going to express my crazy opinion. I think I have the right to. My first solution would be for the council or the municipality just to leave the matter as it is. You leave the people here. It's feeding 20 individuals and their families. They're not sitting on the government's payroll, and they're making an honest living. So my first and best solution would be to leave things exactly as they are. Second solution would be to bash this church down and turn this whole area into a craft market. Since if we're talking about job creation and being useful, I think this church is being counterproductive. But I can understand how that could possibly hurt people's feelings. Alright, so, not very realistic. The second option, or the third option at least, third option, I think, would be to relocate the craft market to right over here. There's a nice big patch of grass that is not being used. It's about the same size as where the craft market currently is, and would work ideally. Look, fair enough. The grass here would probably not be grass much. There wouldn't be much grass here after the market is set up. But I think for a fair solution, I think some sort of compromise has to be met in this situation. I'd be willing to take on the responsibility. I walk past here every single day after work. I'd be willing to take on the responsibility to report on how things are going here if a market was set up here. Making sure that the guys are cleaning up afterwards. But if you look over there, I don't know if you can see it, you can't really see it now. But where the market was, it's pretty clean when they're done. They don't leave their stuff lying everywhere. The other reports I heard was that supposedly the craft market people were pissing up against the church wall. Pissing up against the church wall. Are they serious? It's like, how many students are in this town? Anyone could be pissing up against the church wall. And I don't think, I've spoken to a lot of these craft market people. They're pretty respectable people. These aren't hooligans. These people that are earning a living legitimately. Would you go piss up against the wall at your work? I don't think so. So I think that kind of argument is completely irrelevant. Pissing up against the wall. And anyways, this church's walls, if they really cared about their walls, they'd do something about it. But anyways, this isn't a vendetta against the church. The church has as much right to be here as anyone else. Apart from the fact that it's not doing any sort of economic good for the community. But it serves another purpose, I suppose.
It's all those clumps in that. Not there. Look. This is the market.
Show me the cover of this.
The cover. The Stellenbosch.
Here we go, Heart of South African Winelands. Guess what's featuring in here? There you go, arts and culture. And hey, look at that, there's the market that they're trying to get rid of. So, you know, for the record, there it is. So the fight goes on, fight goes on, fight goes on.
So, I mean, really, we are really stressed. We don't know where to go. We are going to drop out from school. We have really started here, so I don't know what to do now. Because really, I'm really stressing now. I don't know what to do. There's nothing to do. I mean, I don't know if they are sending me back to do crime or what. I'm not prepared to do that. This is what was making my life, and I don't know. I'm really, really down now. So if some people can help us to keep us here, or they give us a very nice place, very better, or a different place, not there in Black. There in Black, our business cannot work there. The tourists cannot go there. We even try to interview some tour guides. They told us that he or she will never take the tourist. It's too risky for her or him. So really, we don't know what to do.
Okay, so I bought the Uitstad, and there's the article. Formal traders move to Bergsig. Now, the opening paragraph is fascinating, and I'm not going to read the whole thing on camera. I suggest maybe if you're really interested, buy the Uitstad. But here it says, the hourglass has run out for the informal traders that have been trading in front of checkers for the last 10 years. The hourglass has run out. I mean, really, I'm going to read this whole article now and I'll give my comments when I'm done. Okay, so here we go. It has, however, been since 2010 that the municipality has been receiving complaints regarding the traders from the Rhenish Church on Die Braak, as well as from members of the public. The complaints include that the traders are littering in the ground around the church grounds and that their presence is also interfering with church functions. Their presence is interfering with church functions. And as for the first one, the complaints include that the traders are littering in and around the church grounds. I mean, I don't know. I've walked past that area often, and you know, that place is pretty clean. As for interfering with the church functions, as we've already kind of like, you know, discussed or seen or checked or whatever, churches work on Sundays. You know, these people are here during the day. They clean it and they finish up at about 5. So I mean, those two arguments. And as for complaints as for members of the public, I mean, I'd like to speak to some of those members of the public. You know, those are just not good enough reasons to take people out of work. I'm sorry, it's just not good enough. We've already seen what Bergsig looks like. I mean, it's like a dungeon there. You know, it'll kill their business will not survive there whatsoever. Okay, so according to Patrick Oliver, Director of Public Safety for Stellenbosch, there has been much deliberation between municipality, traders, community and the church, after which Bergsig was identified as the proper place for them to move to. We have spent millions on establishing Bergsig as a formal marketplace, and since the project started we reserved spots for all the traders where they can run their businesses. Last year we offered them a site next to the tourism offices as an alternative, but they were not interested. The municipality, last year we offered them a site next to the tourism offices. Now the tourism offices are down Market Street. I pretty to what space they were offered there. The municipality is focused on promoting local economic development, which is why Bergsig Marketplace was created. Yeah, but you see, it's not quite as simple as that. You know, they've got to, you know, the municipality has to kind of like acknowledge that area, what that area is. I mean, and they've got to acknowledge the craft markets grievances as to why they don't want to move there, you know, and and then a compromise has to be met. I mean, the last line of this article is the informal traders have to move to Bergsig. Dude, they ain't gonna move to Bergsuk. I've already established that. I mean, they're just not gonna fucking move to Bergsuk.